Hello. This is LarryTheGM. Going to do a little quick late night update because we added something to the website. Going to try to do a better job of sharing and doing this. One should be a real quick one, but we're just going to quickly run through some things going on the site and then also talk a little bit about what I posted today. So, see the article Why Yuli Was Yuli Again. We'll cover that real quick and talk about it. And then also, just so you know, mid morning tomorrow, I'll be posting the pitching update, what the grid, the pitching grid I've been showing says about the game. And then we'll probably put a little bit of a prediction in for the game. Hey, just so you know, you're not wasting your time on Larry the GM, you may want to check out I take the time of giving myself grades on some of the predictions you've seen for this Astros season. Ask yourself how many other blogs are doing that. I graded myself, the things I got right, the things I didn't get right, and so just so you know what we're doing here. And if you have not taken the time to look at the ALDS matchup guide, you want to, guys, you're never going to watch a baseball postseason game the same way again once you understand what we got in the guide. And if you need a little help understanding that, jump up onto this the first video we did on the Larry GM site, and you will see how do we work through that. The content's been a little bit updated from the first time we wrote through that video, but nothing we covered there is not on in the article. So help open up the article, open up the video on YouTube, and let Larry and Clint talk you through what's in the guide and help you get ready for game 2 of the ALDS. All right, so let's jump into it. Let's talk about why Yuli was Yuli again. Here we go. So, guys, Yuli Gurriel looks like the Yuli Gurriel of 2021 and ALDS Game 1 for the Astros. And so, one thing I will let you guys know, and I get a little bit of heat on Twitter, and I understand it. I'm a little salty sometimes. So I don't mind some of the debates and stuff, but I get a lot of heat. And one of the things I said about Alex Bregman when he was getting a lot of heat early in the year is like, I never worry about Alex Bregman figuring out what he's doing wrong or where he's getting it wrong, because I know that guy is going to spend whatever amount of time it takes. He's beating himself up for it. I just want you guys to know I'm not saying I'm Alex Bregman, but I think my attitude about the content I put out holds myself to the standard that Alex Bregman holds himself up to as your Astros third baseman. I don't like it when I get things wrong. That's why I've given you a scorecard that tells you exactly where I think I've gotten it wrong and where I think I've gotten it right this year. And so one of the things that's been bothering me is sometimes Yuli Gurriel has uh, has days that I like they come from nowhere, and he looks different. But I more so ALDS game number 1, Yuli Gurriel was different. He looked like the Yuri Gurriel that we were used to seeing much more of that Yuri Gurriel last year. So here he is. I thought, why was last night's ALDS so different? And so one of the challenges I had on the website, or one of the things I kept saying when I saw Dusty Baker choosing to put Yuri Gurriel at first base is the guy's 38 years old and he's not having a great season, and you keep rolling him out there, and people would talk about defensive metrics and how great of a defensive and first baseman he was in the scoops. I don't really want to get into the minutiae of that debate. There's plenty of articles on the website that share with you my perspective on that. In summary, I don't believe that Yuli Gurriel has been a great first baseman this year. He's been very good last year. In fact, at the end of last year, I wrote about the things that Yuri Gurriel, the defensive metrics that he did well, and some of the things even then that we're saying that weren't so great that Yuri Gurriel had. But one of the things we've been advocating for is give Yuri Gurriel more rest. And when so guys, I have these creative moments, and I don't know where they come from, but so I was thinking about that, and I was also like in my, I'll say my Alex Bregman mode, like why did Yuri Gurriel have a day in the ALDS game one when my system said he wouldn't really have that great of a day? Why did he have such a great day, Larry? I mean, these are the internal beat up discussions I have with myself. I don't need Twitter to come after me. Um, so one of the things I came to, and when I was thinking about, is like the Astros had 6 days off, and I think that the 6 days off did Yuri Gurriel more, had more benefits to Yuri Gurriel than any other Astro. In fact, some of the Astros in there, I guess you make the statement that Justin Verlander ha was just missing, Dusty said he was missing just a hair, very close with some of these pitches, and that's just because I think he didn't have the normal control. The pitches weren't curving or weren't dropping the way they normally would because he was too rested in essence. So I was thinking about, like, so what if the reason Yuri Gurriel, who had been playing 88% of the time from July 1st forward, what if the rest was the key thing for this performance? So there's ways we could go through that. We could go through and look at the 2022 season and see how many off days he had before each game, and then compare the statistics for those days. Or he had more than just like playing one day and then playing the next day, having a day off, so greater than 1 day rest, and compare that. So that's what we did, and we looked at his statistics. And guys, this is startling. I mean, this is some of the most simplest data you're going to get from the LarryTheGM site, and I hope that you guys enjoy it because this is like here's this is really easy to comprehend. Here's Yuri Gurriel's season, and I just did this on base percentage, slugging, and OPS because, quite frankly, the data I'm looking at, that's the only those are the easiest statistics to really come to the calculations of when we're doing this kind of matrix of days off versus performance. And you can see here his OPS was 647 for the season. When he played back to back days, his OPS was 602. That is horrible. And so, but when he had more than 1 day's rest, here he is at 842. It's like a different player was playing in games where there was more than 1 day of rest. And so the difference is dramatic. And it's kind of funny that my thought process was like, well, this felt like a Yuri Gurriel that I've seen in the past. Because look at how the more than 1 day rest data looks like in comparison with 2021. It's almost the same thing. And 842 with more than 1 day of rest in 2022, 846 was his OPS last year. So this is the message. Like, hey, when Yuli Gurriel gets more than 1 day of rest, and I actually think the effects of rest or days off are cumulative in most cases. I don't have data to back that up. It's just an opinion. I try to be really clear when things are purely my opinion or where things are based on data. Um, So what does that mean for the rest of the ALDS? So what we can look at is like we have a day off. Well, obviously, we've had a day off today, so he's got a day between game one and game two. So I haven't I mean, I haven't gone back and actually given you the details of what the metrics say for tomorrow. But knowing what I wrote in the guide, I wouldn't have otherwise predicted you're able to play tomorrow. I expect Dusty, who's been playing him 88% of the time since July 1st, is going to play Yuri Gurriel tomorrow. I am far more bullish about what he might be able to do than my system will be able to calculate because my calculation is based on the database that has him playing day after day. But I believe that the database, and let me double back with something. I'm not just quoting like a few 50 plate appearances. This is 113 plate appearances where he had a day off. If that number had been more like 300, or he had gotten more rest, and then yes, he would not have had as many plate appearances. We might have gotten a much more productive version of Yuli, or we would know that this anomaly that we get with the days off really wasn't what it looks like to us today. But between game one and game two, we have an off day today, so he should be the better version of Yuli that we saw in game one. Now, I don't know that Yuli had 6 days off for game one, but we got another day off between game two and game three. Now, if the Astros choose to have Yuli take game four off, then he'll have another day off in game five. Yuli could play 4 of the 5 games, and we could expect that if this metric, um, if this paradigm is true, that we could get the good version of Yuli. I would be the guys. I know I take a lot of heat for some of the things I said about Yuli and some of the challenges that I've had with the way the Astros have used Yuli this year. But if he's batting in the sixth or seventh hole and he's had a day off, we could get a really good version of Yuli. So I'd be really happy to see that. So in short, for perhaps the first time since June, I have a reason to believe that Yuli Gurriel may be the great version of Yuli Gurriel we saw last year, and instead of when his off time hasn't been, at least in my opinion, been managed properly. So let's just leave it at that. I mean, I think you can reach some other conclusions about here what might have to happen in these games in the ALCS if we get there. But let's enjoy seeing if Yuli can make this paradigm true in at least 3 of the next 4 games. Plus, I would also say, even if they do play Yuli in all 5 games, I think the effect of having 2 days off in between these 5 days may have a lagging effect. I didn't go in and look at those like second days after the day off and see what the statistics were there. But that would be another exercise one could do. So that's all I had to say really about the Yuli article. Let's hope it happens. Let's root for the Astros in Game Two of the LDS today, and let's see what happens. So that's all I have for you guys. I will ask that if you're watching this on YouTube, that hey, I really would appreciate a like of the video. I really would appreciate as you would see if you've just joining the stream on YouTube. We're just now kicking this off. We're going to do more of this interaction with the articles I write, and maybe a little quick YouTube to describe what's there. And so please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. Those will be things that will be important for YouTube health and progressing going forward. Thanks, guys. Let's go Astros. Thank you. Have a good night.